Welcome. Welcome, AATAT alumni. Welcome, AATAT community supporters, friends, and family. Welcome, UCSC staff, faculty, and current students. It has been 10,950 days, 1,564 weeks, 360 months, 262,800 hours, 157,680 minutes of Don Williams and the African American Theater Arts Troupe working tirelessly to uplift, to inspire, and to cultivate hope into the lives of African American students and spread cultural awareness of the dynamic works of African American playwrights to the Santa Cruz community as a whole. I mean, can we just type an amen and a yes and a well done in the comments for that alone?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we got to give the AATAT snaps. So my name is Nikita Kalam Harris, and I'm one of your MCs for the night. And I am an AATAT alum from 1999 to 2002 from Oaks College. I'm an actress, I'm a producer, and I'm a private drama coach in Los Angeles. Tammi?
So, hi, I'm Tammi Rivers. I'm currently the chair of the Cultural Arts and Diversity Resource Center, and I'm a current student right now. And I am from Stevenson College, because we don't have anything cool like that right now, but we'll catch up to Oaks. So, before we get this party started, let's get some technical stuff out of the way. And
Yes.
since we're using Hopin as a new platform, I have a few pointers I want to just shout out to y'all. So the chat is open to everyone over on your right, and you can either stream here on Hopin, or if you have the link, you can also stream it on YouTube. And if you don't have the link, one of our moderators will drop it in the chat, or you can visit our website at catrc.org and just join in from there. And for our Hopin and YouTube friends, if you're having some technical difficulties throughout the program, all you got to do is click on the gear icon right below and then change the quality of the stream to 720 HD. And captioning is available through webcaption.com. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see tonight, though. So this evening, you're going to hear from artists, special guests, and after the program, we're going to have a community gathering and reception so y'all can see each other's lovely faces because, hey, we haven't seen each other in a while, right? So now that we got that business out of the way, let's get this party started.
Okay, so Dr. David Anthony is a mentor for students as well as an outstanding scholar. He was my provost when I was at Oaks. And we all know Don Williams, the man with the plan and the man who has dedicated most of his life to the success and well-being of students at UC Santa Cruz. Let's hear from them.
Good evening, family, friends. We are all connected, cousins, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, great-greats. Thank you all for coming. First, before we move forward in this commemoration, let us give thanks and praise, gratitude for the owners of the land on whom we are graced to be guests. We share, thankfully, their benefit. We have our hearts in their hearts. AATAT for 30 years has been an institution. That institution was constructed on showing up, coming at all times, under all circumstances, giving everything back, paying it forward, experiencing the totality of the African diasporic experience, the works of our playwrights, the Lorraine Hansberrys, the August Wilsons, the Ed Bullens, the incredible tremendous spirit of our auteurs, the Woodie Kings, Adela Barnes, Danny Glover, Tammy Brown, some other people that we're going to see and hear from, and the spirits of those who have transitioned, who have moved on. We stand on their shoulders as they stood on the shoulders of those who made way for them. We ask that tonight's proceedings be blessed and graced with the benefit, a heart space of our ancestors, our neighbors, all of those with whom we are bonded. Let us move forward. Let us share what we have been given, the blessings. And let us smile through as we prepare the way for those who follow. Thank you. Thank you, parents. Thank you, family. Thank you, extended family across all the continents. Thank you for allowing us to share these stories heartfully. Peace be unto you in gratitude. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. First, giving God all the praise, glory, and honor. For those that know me, y'all know I do this. It's a part of my DNA. And in my heart and spirit right now is already filled to the max that a program like this is moving forward. As my dear brother, the writer Amir Baraka would describe in his play called The Dutchman, tickets, get on board. The train is leaving the station. So, for all of you current students, I give you praise and glory right now for being online and experiencing this evening that you will see. Without you, we would not exist. Alumni who have put in tirelessly amount of hours that I can't even number and count in rehearsals, we thank you for being here tonight. Your presence is felt. To my family, my friends, both far and near, thank you for being here tonight. To the dignitaries, and yes, to those folks who wrote countless checks throughout the years to enable our scholarship to move forward, thank you for being here. So, without further ado, I don't know about you, but my mind is made up, my heart is fixed. I'm ready to get on board and catch that train. Take me to the next stop.
Love Don. Showing up and follow through. Definitely a theme during my time at AATAT.
For sure. Those are some words I still live by.
Yep.
And will continue to after I graduate this year.
Oh.
So wow, look at all these people joining us tonight.
Yeah. It looks like there's over 200 people with us tonight on Facebook, on YouTube and Hopin. Let's see. Can we get a location roll call? Can you guys type in the chat where you're logging in from? I know I'm out here in LA.
And I'm up here at the basic campus at UCSC.
Yeah, we got some West Coasters, got some few East Coasters.
I know my friends watching from LA. I see y'all.
Okay, well, that's great. I'm so glad that people from all over are tuning in. So now I want to say what better person it is to congratulate the arts than the Dean of the Arts at UC Santa Cruz. So we'll be hearing from Ted Warburton.
And following Ted Warburton, we are going to hear from the Black Theater Network Vice President, K. Zahira Sultan.
Hello and welcome. I'm Ted Warburton, the Interim Dean of the Arts at the University of California, Santa Cruz. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome you to this joyous occasion, the 30th anniversary Gala celebration of the African American Theater Arts Troupe. I'm honored to share this event along with AATAT Director Don Williams, our incredible students, and with all of you, our guests. The first principle in UC Santa Cruz's Principles of Community states clearly that we embrace diversity in all its forms and strive for an inclusive community that fosters an open, enlightened, and productive environment. As a campus, we have not always risen to meet that aspirational goal, but we know one person and one student organization who have embodied that principle for 30 years, Don Williams and his AATAT family. Each year, Don introduces countless students to the power of live theater and then takes them on the road, performing in our local communities. I've witnessed these outreach efforts in action, and I see how they inspire our youth. No single person or organization on our campus has done more to recruit and retain Black students, helping our students find their voices and providing them with a sense of belonging. On behalf of the arts and our campus, I thank you sincerely, Don, for your fortitude and wisdom. And I congratulate you and AATAT members past and present on your remarkable achievements. I hope those of you with the means to do so will consider supporting AATAT and the transformative power it has in the lives of so many young people. I also hope you all will plan to be in the audience next month and each year thereafter for the annual AATAT production. Thank you again for joining us this evening.
Hello, everyone. I send you wishes of warmth and health from the land of the Potawatomi, the cold and windy city of Chicago in Illinois. I'm Keza Hira Sultan, the founder and executive director of Mind Your Business Art and the newly elected vice president of the Black Theater Network. Congratulations to the University of California, Santa Cruz, the African American Theater Arts Troupe, and to Mr. Donald Williams on your 30-year anniversary. As a theater professional, I appreciate your tenacity and dedication to the preservation of theater. Your history of empowering generations of students by providing scholarships, mentoring high school students, and community outreach programs truly gives voice and action to Mary Church Terrell's words. We must always lift as we climb. I became aware of the program when I met Professor Williams almost 8 years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. He was the treasurer of the Black Theater Network back then. When I was introduced to him, I remember him sharing how proud he was of his students and of the theater program. Throughout the years, I've watched him as he walked in and registered students at the BTN conference. His face would always gleam with pride. He made sure each student introduced themselves and shared what they were doing in theater and their aspirations, like a proud mentor. Don would make sure that each and every student met everyone at the conference, shared their names, and tried to find a connection to where the students would be able to advance once they left his program and went out in the world to continue their career in their craft. I saw the importance of having universities, educators, and institutions invest in their students' outcome. Those who created inward roads and opportunities to the future for the future of and growth of their students and to make sure they became successful. In this month of February, when we celebrate the legacy of African Americans and Black people, I want to thank you again, UCSC, the AATA program, and Mr. Donald Williams for telling our stories, keeping our legacy alive, and sustaining programs that nurture the leadership of tomorrow. Thank you for this opportunity, and I wish you many more years of success.
Thank you, VP of BTN, and to the Dean of the Arts for those wonderful words. Your recognition of the work that AATAT does and the impact it makes on campus is greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, moving along, I kind of heard that there might be a surprise guest. Did you hear the same thing?
Yeah, I heard the same thing too.
You did? I
Yeah.
wonder what it is. Tech Crew.
Hello, everyone. For 30 years, the African American Theater Arts Troupe of the University of California at Santa Cruz has truly enhanced our community through cultural enrichment and expression. From a beginning void of a budget or even a space, the AATAT has grown to what it is today, a group that uplifts thousands of our community members through its performances each year. Especially now, in a time where people across this country continue to be affected from racism and reel from the effects of systemic racism, we are very thankful that our community has the African American Theater Arts Troupe to bring the voices of African American playwrights to the center of the stage and to allow our home on the Central Coast to learn and to heal through your artistic expression. So as a token of my appreciation and the very least that I can do for all of your work, I have entered the accomplishments of the African American Theater Arts Troupe into the congressional record. What that means is that your incredible influence and contributions to UCSC and to our community will be immortalized in the record of the United States Congress. That basically means that the work of the UCSC African American Theater Arts Troupe will be immortalized in our American history. So now let me share a few paragraphs from that, what we call a CR. Find it. The creation of this organization at UC Santa Cruz was not without challenges. With the guidance and tireless work of founding instructor Donald Williams, AATAT was able to grow over the years into a full theater production troupe that performs, inspires, and uplifts thousands of people each year. The artistic and generous spirit of AATAT goes beyond the stage as it strives for inclusivity by making their performances free and accessible to UCSC students. The group's sense of duty has led them to work with high school students across California, tutoring an average of over 2,000 students each year. In the spirit of uplifting others, AATAT has been able to provide over 100,000 in scholarships through the years. Madam Speaker, it is my pleasure to recognize the history, dedication, and contributions of the UC Santa Cruz African American Theater Arts Troupe, and I ask my distinguished colleagues to join me in recognizing the African American Theater Arts Troupe of the University of California at Santa Cruz as an exceptional group of community and artistic leaders on the Central Coast of California. So congratulations, and again, thank you for your enrichment that you bring to our families, to our culture, to our community here on the Central Coast, and yes, to our future. Thank you.
Oh my God. I don't know if Don is in tears, but like I just had to wipe and put my mascara back on. I mean, wow, that's like legacy personified. Like we are the answers to our ancestors' prayers, and that will be forever written in American history. Well done, well done. What do you think about that? I'm just like speechless right now.
I am absolutely taken back. It is absolutely amazing to see it immortalized in U.S. history. Like I am a U.S. history major, so seeing like history being made
You're
right
like
now,
out right now.
amazing.
I can think of a time, my senior year, the show was Before It Hits Home, and it dealt with themes of homosexuality. It dealt with themes of the AIDS pandemic. And it really stood out to me as an AATAT spotlight memory, because when our production ended, we were made aware that the students on campus, the number of students on campus that got tested for STDs and AIDS had quadrupled after seeing our show. So it's just an example of how art can really impact reality, impact real life. And so I'm pretty proud of that moment. And I'm sure AATAT's pretty proud of that moment. What about you?
I'd probably say the moment that I remember the most of AATAT was when I was outside every night selling goldfish crackers and cocoa to raise for the AATAT scholarship. And seeing community members just coming back like every night. There was one couple that actually did return every night for the whole show's run. And it was absolutely amazing to see people wanting more and to see people wanting it to continue like this.
Crazy. So what about that video we're about to see? I'm excited.
Yeah, let's take a walk down memory lane with that video.
My way of being brought up in life is different than yours, but when we sit down at the table and talk about it, wow, we both walk away now with greater meaning and great appreciation for who we are and our perspectives. That's what theater does. It opens up a whole new gamut of appreciation and understanding. And that was a threat to some people. And we'll see you there. Thank you.
Black theater is important to me because, and it is a way that we tell our stories and our history.
I feel like through Black theater, you can really dive into the essence and the spirit within a particular historical moment or a particular cultural moment.
Theater can go in between the lines of the history books. The history books will just tell you dates and facts and maybe some interesting tidbits. But theater can take that history and go in and bring it to life.
Theater can create dialogue around some of the tough issues that are in the pieces, to the point where you would have a conversation with someone that you wouldn't have talked to before.
Coming from a family of 10, we all had our distinctive walks about ourselves, and I always had this deep compassion of what is life and why are we here? And I found myself at an early age where even when I was going to school or coming back home from school, I would see these elders sitting on the porch and they say, "That's Wesley's boy. Hey, how you doing there, Donnie? And how Dot?" And that's my mama. And I found them reaching out and talking to me. And I found myself taking the time out to talk to them. We're talking, folks who were 60, 70, even some of them were 80 years old. And I would ask them questions and they would tell me stories and I would listen. It gave me a greater understanding of what life really was. And I was getting it from the neighborhood.
If you look at a lot of August Wilson's plays, there's so many rich stories and lessons that are learned in those plays. Hard work, determination, persistence, never giving up in your goals or dreams. I watch that and really see the characters and how they're developed and what they're dealing with.
I never felt like I actually connected with theater until AATAT. So I feel like it's especially important to keep those stories alive because not that many people really experience what it's like in person.
Black theater can create awareness around some of the backgrounds and some of the stories that are prevalent in the African American community.
When I got into high school, it was some rough times that I had of just adjusting about, do I really want to do this or do I really want to do that? And I finally settled myself and said, higher education is what it's going to be. Even though I had resistance saying that you're not college material, you're not this, you're not that, that was the farthest thing from my mind. And I basically told a lot of the folks, administrators, you don't judge me. You can't tell me what I can do and what I'm capable of doing. I determine that. So Michigan State, here I came. At a campus of 50,000 students, and there was probably over 500 that was in the theater arts department program. They wasn't doing my kind of shows that, that related to Black life. And I said, wait a minute, and there's about 15, 20 of us that are going to school here that are Black. Why aren't we doing, some kind of Black show, something that we can really sink our teeth into and feel that, that we're doing something and learning of ourselves. So I became a real presser of the administration of we need to do more for students of color. And I remember so well, they brought in this professional show from New York, Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God, and brought that show in, and most of the African-American students were able to come in and see the show because we couldn't afford it, but we became ushers. And so I saw my first professional Black show at Michigan State, and that right there kicked the fire in me even more so, where we actually started our own theater troupe. It was called the Last Minute Hookup Theater Company. It was an all-Black theater troupe, folks.
What we tried to do at Santa Cruz was, find that community, find a connection somewhere. And I think that's what Don provided, is that this space to where we can do something positive.
I was able to get more in touch with my culture, my history, and even my identity, I felt.
AATAT has a spirit of service. AATAT has a spirit of giving. And it's to the point where you're never really evolved. If you know more than somebody else, it's your job to go back and bring them up with you. As Don says, uplift one higher than yourself.
We bring in workshops, directors and alumni and speakers. It's creating retention and increasing the amount of students that are applying.
Once I arrived at UCSC, the arts program, I was working on the lights, the sound, and I had crews of students that I was actually training, how to deal with the technical hardware that we had there. I had several students that were coming up to me because they noticed right away, there's a Black guy in the drama department. And they would actually come up to me and say, hi, who are you? And then, I'm Don Williams. And I'm so-and-so, we really want to act, and, but they're not doing our shows. They're not doing anything that we like. And it was like deja vu. Oh my God. If this is not Michigan State, what is it? So I understood exactly what they're saying before they could even say it. August. Good morning. We supposed to be talking right now?
Yeah, but I was wondering if we could call instead of Zoom since it's just us.
Yeah, we can call. And right now I'm actually doing a video. They're doing a video here at my house. I know they're going to be taking a lunch break pretty soon, and I'll give you a call then if that's okay with you.
Sounds good.
Okay, everything good though?
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, you did a great job last night.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so we'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right, bye. Remember so well them being patient with me, and I said, okay, let's do this. I finally got a show. I said, I can't get you units. We don't need that. We don't care about that. We just want to act, Mr. Williams. We want to be able to tell our own stories. And they had great compassion. I said, okay, we're going to do this. So it came to being, we did our first show, which was called Ceremonies and Dark Old Men by Johnny Elder III. And I had about 10 actors, stage manager, and what have you.
Now, tell me what you see. I see paint. I know you see paint, stupid.
All of us was African American, and what was so unique about it, the juniors and seniors then didn't even know each other. Less than 2% African American students on that campus.
We would always joke, but there was only 100 Black students on the campus.
And it's very hard to find a lot of them, especially if we're all spread out in our own little hubs in different colleges.
I think it was me and 2 other Black people in the whole theater department, my graduating class.
But I saw that as being a community within a community in some ways.
And I started my campaign of trying to recruit folks. So if you want to be involved with a production, we're going to be doing one. You can't get credit, but you can be involved with this. And it was building community. It was retention, keywords, community and retention, and giving history to who you are. A perspective that, that you are embraced, you are important, and you are here for more than just for yourself. I ended up going up to San Francisco to the Lorraine's Hansberry Theater. He happened to be doing this show, Tamarines of Glory, the same show that I was going to had the rights to do in February. I said, I need a set. He said, well, you got any kind of budget? I said, well, I got a little budget, He said, I tell you what, you can come up here, come January, we'll meet up and you can give me $300-400 and you take anything you want. I said, really? He said, yeah. And we're talking about a painted set. We're talking about a mural wall. I mean, huge, because I had the main stage at the Theater Arts. I used the moose truck and brought it in, and I had set pieces hanging out the truck. I mean, it was so big, massive, the set that I was bringing for the main stage. Matter of fact, I couldn't even use all the set that they had. I could only bring so many pieces, and I had plenty of stuff to showcase our stage. But that was a major struggle. That was a major deal breaker for most people. But my mind was made up, my heart was fixed, that I'm going to have follow through and closure with this. That we're going to do this show, regardless of the obstacles that were in our way.
I had heard through the grapevine that, that Donna received a pink slip. They were trying to get rid of him.
We're here to tell you, and this is the spring quarter. We have about maybe a week and a half left in the quarter. I'm here to let you know, I'm sorry, we're going to have to cut you. I think, huh? You have to do what? Oh, we don't have the funding. We just don't have the funding, so we have to cut corners and some programs we have to cut, and we have to cut some staffing, so we decided we're going to cut you. I was just dumbfounded.
But I had heard this, and I said, well, I'm going to walk down to the rally, and I walked down to the Theater Arts, and I was just blown away by how many people were there.
I actually witnessed it. It's like me seeing my own funeral, it's what it seemed to me, because, there was hundreds and hundreds of students that were marching. Save AATAT, save Rainbow Theater, save Don Williams, and they were marching and hitting drums and marching through the campus. And next thing I know, they had this big rally that happened at the Theater Arts Department.
I think they asked, does anyone want to speak? And that's when I was just moved to say, Don is more than just his title, his position at the university. I just remember I just spoke from the heart. I spoke what he meant to me. I think the message was hopefully well received, and apparently it was, because, they rescinded it, right? People make mistakes. It's important for us to recognize those mistakes and be able to reverse those decisions.
The acting chancellor himself called me up and met me at the church that I went to at the time. And he said, well, we're going to fix this. We don't want you going anywhere. We're impressed with the work that you do. So one day's time of me having a pink slip and being gone, I was flipped. Now I was actually working for the chancellor. That was the creation of Cultural Arts and Diversity.
Why are people protesting? Why is Black Lives Matter resurfacing? Theater is just a way that I think is digestible. So with AATAT, we're taking that relatability that theater has and using it to uplift these Black voices that aren't always heard.
If you don't learn from history, you're going to repeat your mistakes. And if you don't understand history, you're not going to understand, why is it important today?
It's a more difficult thing to put on a play that talks about homophobia. It's hard to put on a play that talks about anti-war sentiments, which is something that he did. Always been just blown away how he's always looked for something that is always pushing the envelope, that is also current. I use this word, Donna's radical inclusion. It wasn't a one and done. It's not something that's off to the side, but it was truly a revolutionary movement. I think he was very intelligent in how he went out into the Santa Cruz community and had us go around to community centers, the schools. He forged a relationship with Cabrillo. There was just a bigger picture that he saw there.
The community aspect is something that occurs naturally just because it's healing in a way. Like all the work that you put out, you still get to kind of come back and heal from it. It's cathartic.
The students hung on the plays. I mean, they were in the audience, but they really were wide-eyed. It was exciting. It was motivating for them. But also, I could remember community members who said, "Well, I want to see it again." So they were seeing it here, but they were also traveling to see it in Santa Cruz or other places as well. It was very special. My mother was one who really enjoyed every year. It was a big thing for her. We went to the theater to see, the play. It wasn't called AATAT. It was, when's the play coming?
We started giving out scholarships. That was one of our major campaigns of doing shows, raising funds to help establish and maintain some of our African-American students to stay on this campus. We've given out, well over $120,000 in scholarships since its conception. Now within AATAT, folks are really introduced to heart and soul. You need to really, really appreciate one another. And that's what theater does. It teaches you about the greater community to be able to tell that story. And if it comes from the heart, it goes to the heart. Students say, Mr. Williams got all kinds of sayings. Well, that's where it came from, them old timers that I talked to when I was young coming up. So, end of the night, my work is just beginning all over again. How do we get the next audience out to come see this show or the next year's show? And that's a special feeling, knowing that we're creating things that people can really see and feel and touch and digest with inside them. And hopefully create a change, a positive change in their life.
That it's just so inspiring to look back to the inception, to the success, to the overcoming, the accolades, the passion, just the transformational impact on students and community at UCSC and Santa Cruz community. And this man has a whole family. So thank you to his family for lending him to us, because I know that's not easy either. Juggling this whole family. We call him Papa Don. So he has all these children plus his own children. And we want to give a big thank you to Scott and the entire crew at Lens Fire Films. That was just amazing.
It is absolutely amazing to see that again. Like, it always gets me to just see like the legacy that AATAT has left on the campus, and like what you said, that like Mr. Williams feels like, family on campus. Like, I feel like I always have someone that I can fall back on, and like a community that I can always return to without feeling like, I'm just alone on campus. Like, I have people that I know and can rely on.
And I just want to say that's a great visual of a mentor. I mean, he was at my wedding. Like if we weren't in a pandemic, he would have already met my new little baby girl. So it really goes beyond teaching. And it's really apparent in how alumni just come at his beck and call. When Don calls, it's like, okay, how can I clear my schedule? He needs me. And I think that's just a testament to what he's poured into our lives. So it just doesn't end with graduation with AATAT and Don. So anyway.
So shall we bring it back to AATAT?
Yes.
Before we try some more?
Yeah.
So one thing about AATAT is that it highlights different talents, including directing, acting, singing, dancing, and technical work. So can I get a shout out to my tech crew? Real quick?
Well, I think it's time for a performance break. So let's hear a dynamic poem from a community member, Dr. Ekua Osupe, who has been a wise and fiery poet and teacher for many years right here on the Central Coast.
And we're going to hear a couple of song selections from my fellow students, August Stevens and Tiona Jenkins, who are not only examples of students who study and work and perform, but also give countless hours to organize productions and programs like this for our campus.
Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here and to share with you a poem from my collection of poetry, which is titled Legacy. And the poem I'm going to read to you is titled Community. Community is the place where I was born, where I grew up. Mama, Lovey Lee, John, Isaac, Liz, Doll, faces and names I can no longer recall. It is Miss Betty, the neighborhood widow raising 6 hungry children, stepping across the yard asking for a cup of sugar, a little cornmeal, or fatback to season some greens. It is Mama, getting up early morning, building a fire in the old wood stove to bake a pan of biscuits, cook a pot of grits, and some fried jack mackerel. Community is knowing the inside and outside of my people's poverty, thwarted desire, and our hope. It is the weather-worn Baptist church at the end of a Mississippi country road where cotton field meets gravel, and every third Sunday, our traveling evangelist, Reverend Miles, preaches a tenuous gospel of Christ, salvation, freedom. And we feast on fried chicken, butter beans, cornbread, beets, boiled eggs, fish, biscuits, lemon meringue pie, sweet potato tassies, potato salad, bread and butter pickles, corn on the cob, peach cobbler, butter pound cake that my granny and everybody else is prepared for that special day. Community is sharecropping, caring for other women's children when they are sick, in childbed, or dying. How many children did my grandma and great-grandma raise that weren't their own? It is looking at who you are, who I am, sharing our stories, telling how far we have come, where we need to go, what we hope for. Can we get there together? Community, commune, communication. Come in, come on into unity. Make communion together, together in our strength, our weakness, vision, will. So be it. Thank you. It was such a pleasure to be here and to share with you.
I was born by the river in a little tent, and just like that river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. Ooh, it's been a long but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. So I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me please. But then he winds up knocking me down on my knees. Oh, there's been times when I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. One, two, three, four.
I used to wake up some days and wish I had stayed asleep, 'cause I went to bed on top of the world. Today the world's on top of me. Everybody's got opinions. They ain't been in my position, but it breaks my heart when I hear what they have to say about me. Yeah.
Feels like I always fall short of being worthy, 'cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I ain't no superstar, spotlight ain't shining on me.
I wanna be for you.
'Cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I'm not perfect.
I'm not perfect.
Yes, I do wrong.
Yes, I do
I'm
wrong.
trying my best,
Trying my
but it ain't good enough. Jump by the world if I don't succeed, 'cause I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. No, I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. No, I ain't good enough, but he still loves me.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful singing. Thank you, Dr. Ekua. I appreciate both of those performances that y'all just rendered. So we're moving forward. Let me say a few things about this guest that we got coming up that I'm going to have a conversation with. You talk about a library that has many books. Well, here's a man who has done many productions, a mentor, someone that I've always wished to meet and had the opportunity to actually embrace. I can remember about 15, 20 years ago, I walked up to him and I shook his hand and I said, one day I'm going to take your job. I'm going to do what you do. The countless of actors, technicians, playwrights that he has awoken and gave that opportunity to put to flight. Man with great compassion, wisdom, knowledge. A man that I royally respect. And I am so honored and so thankful and grateful that we have a legendary man of the Black arts movement that we have before us tonight. So presenting to some, introducing to others, I bring to you Mr. Woodie King Jr. How you doing there, sir?
All right, sir. All right. That was wonderful. Whoa, man.
Oh man, I am so thankful.
And your host, I'm so glad I kicked in early.
Yeah.
You know, and saw all the work you're doing, what you're doing now, and I saw the film that they had done on you and how you went into that department and made something of it and
Yes,
recreated it, and they were going to furlough you, and 200 students were out there, man. Said, no, we want this brother. We want this brother. I just love that, man. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how that makes me feel, because you feel you are in a business where you are out there alone.
Yes.
But if you're doing your work, you don't know how many people you gather around you. You don't know all these people that are going to be there for you when you need them. They just show up.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say, no, we're not going to let Mr. Williams go. We're not going to stand for it. And we have to do a theater off campus. And we have to do a theater where we have to chip in. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And you did plays like Ceremonies, and you were moved by Your Arms Too Short to Box with God. You were moved by great theater, and you took the students to it, and you hauled sets back in your van. I mean, that's what it's about, man. It's the love of the arts. It's a love of young Black people who you're pulling up with you. It doesn't matter that they are Black, as long as they're young, energetic, and really want to do it. They will get that white friend. They will get them, and they say, wait a minute, this is what I want to do as well. And I'm so glad that the African American Theater Group is alive and still well and doing it in Santa Cruz.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So as I was introducing you, man, the folks just don't know. My students just don't know the caliber, the depth, the breadth that you have, and how you have really molded and shaped my life. I mean, when I think about it, you know, we had the opportunity of bringing 3 of the shows that you have produced and directed yourself that we brought to the Santa Cruz and put on our very stages. And it taught us, and it gave the students a greater appreciation of what professional theater means. That's because of you. And then I know the countless shows when I went to the National Black Theater Festival down there in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and the countless shows that I saw that you had produced and they brought in, and how my students were able to take upon that and see that. You are a master teacher, sir. And I'm letting you know that I'm giving you praise and glory right now. And I'm trying to teach my students something right now, that those alumni that are out there, they're coming up. Always be able to give praise and glory while you can to those master teachers that we have. And Woodie King, you are a master teacher. I'm so thankful and grateful of you.
And I just want to say, Don, I cannot tell you, once you give the basics, they will go out and grab hold to that master's degree, that PhD, and that running a theater. I'm going to run a theater in my community. You know, you know what I mean? And that's what you were able to do. And that's what you've been doing. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And that's why I'm here. You know, that's why I'm here. You called and I said, hey.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask a couple of questions. You've been in Black theater for a long time. I mean, over 50 years, the New Federal Theater has been out there doing it. I mean, and being on the East Coast, I'm talking about sunshine when it's hot. When it's cold, and snow on the ground. I mean, yeah, and right now you probably get snow. But I want to ask you, when you first began doing this, what propelled you? What motivated you to do this Black theater?
You said something earlier in the documentary on you. I went to the theater in 19 59 in Detroit, and I saw a Raised in the Sun, and I saw Black people as I had never seen them before. And I went to the theater every night and waited outside for Robert Hooks, Douglas Turner Ward, and walked them to their hotel. And then almost immediately, they told me about the Defiant Ones. And I saw this dark-skinned man, Sidney Poitier. I said, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And I looked for drama schools in Detroit. And when I went to a drama school, and they told me outright, you can't be on the stage with these white girls, you know? And we built our theater downtown, but still going to drama school, dealing with Stanislavski, dealing with Actor Prepares, dealing with these books on acting. I read everything that came in. And soon the librarian taught me about Black art and Black poetry. And then Langston Hughes came in, and the great Langston Hughes. That's what propelled me, Don. That's what propelled me. I found these people and followed them and talked to them and pulled and wouldn't let them get away. I know they got tired of me, but I wasn't going to let them get away, and just talk to them. And then I got to be a drama critic on a little newspaper, the Detroit Tribune, and that got me into everything with my little card. 18 years old, 17, writing criticism. I didn't know that, but I had to learn that. So you learn a little bit, and in the mid 60s, I came to New York. Yeah, and I saw the great Cecily Tyson and Robert Hooks and Roscoe Lee Brown and all those actors in The Blacks by Jean Genet, and that just further persuaded me, this is something you got to do. And so I always learned, I guess, from the great Langston Hughes, if you go somewhere, pull somebody along with you. And that's what you are doing. You know, if you are going to teach, have some young people that you are teaching and working with and instilling in them the beauty of theater, the beauty of art, the beauty of this piece of theater by August Wilson, the beauty of this piece of theater by with Ceremonies and Dark Old Men, the beauty of these kinds of things. And that's what propelled me. That's what propelled me. It's the same thing, man. I see in you what I really felt in myself.
Wow. Well, you are a mentor for me, sir. I mean, when I think about mentors, you are one, and you know, Buddy Butler, who just left us. God rest in peace. Another major player out there as far as teaching and doing Black theater.
Yes.
Yes. So, if I was to ask you a question, because I got a lot of young folks that's listening right now, and what would you say to them if they wanted to really go into this theater world and the value of Black theater? What is it? I mean, what are some things that you can give them that they need to hold on to and not let go?
They got to read. They got to read. They got to be knowledgeable of themselves, their identity. They got to read, if possible, read all of James Baldwin, The Black Aesthetic by Addison Gale, Actor Prepares if they want to be an actor, the works of Harold Clurman, talking to an actor. You got to read. You got to know who you are. Ralph Ellison, and every play you can get your hands on, read a play. When you do that play, if you do a play, and I keep using Ceremonies and Dark Old Men because I remember when the Negro Ensemble did that play originally.
Yes.
If you do that play, you teaching it. You also teaching it to them.
Yes.
So you got to read all of Lonnie Elder's work. His work on Ira Aldrich, his other works. He's a history person. He deals with our lives as history, as Black history, and Robeson, plays like that.
Yes.
So it's and he and Philip Dean and other playwrights who are I don't want to say mentors, but you got to read in order to be able to do.
Yes.
You can't come in there and play around. At the beginning, you can do it. You can play around, but if you get into the play, you're gonna have to get into the play.
Right. Right.
If you
So-
work with Don Williams, you're gonna have to get into the play. If you don't want to.
That's just true. I know sometimes, Woody, sometimes students, they hide from me. They run from me. It's all, well, here he comes, hide.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do it even harder or more. But, sir, we're going to ask one more question, and we're going to close out and move forward with our program. But, man, I could talk to you all day because, man, I just tell you, man, it's like, I'm just serious. It's like I get a full course meal when I just sit around you. You don't realize, but when I'm at BTN and I see you, you got crowds of people that gather around you, and people's always got a mic in front of you when they want to interview you. Every time I can, I just listen to the wisdom and the knowledge that you have. And I just once again want to make sure that folks on this West Coast knows that that you are a man who have laid a heck of a foundation for us to walk with, to embrace, to grip, to understand, to respect. You are a library, sir, and you have done so many incredible things. I show folks some of the books that you've actually helped put out there on the market, the anthologies, the making of a movement. Watch this, learn of yourself. I mean, I talk about the Sankofa stuff to them, and and that Sankofa is that African bird where you got to look back and go back and get it.
Yeah,
I'm going back and get it. We're getting you today.
I'm here.
You that history book. You that nugget right there.
Yeah, and all they have to do is go to our website, man. We got all kinds of stuff,
Yes.
If they leave the African American theater group in Santa Cruz and come into New York, they got a home.
Right on. Y'all hear that, students?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're talking about the new Federal Theater that's in New York. Woodie King. Google him and you will pop it up.
Yes. Or website us.
Yes. So, sir, it's with great honor, appreciation. We're gonna go ahead and continue on with this program. I don't know what else they got up their sleeve. They already shocked me once by having Panetta on the program. I didn't know that. Y'all got one on me. But sir, it is a pleasure and an honor.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Black theater matters. Representation matters. Representation plants a seed into our youth so that they know that they can blossom into greatness despite what the world is throwing at them. So that's what I got from that. Thank you, Mr. Williams and Mr. King Jr. for sharing your greatness with us. But Cami, can you set us up for this play excerpt that we're about to see? Set the scene for us.
For sure. So here's a little sneak peek of what we're going to be seeing early March. So let's set the scene real quick. So Brittany McBride, who's playing the role of Frances, is the headmistress of an all-girls school in Ghana. And Odessa Ekua is Eloise, and she was Miss Ghana in 1966. But the thing is that she also attended the school with Frances when they were children. Now, there's some obvious tension and a history of rivalry between the two, and Eloise always seems to be a little conceited and condescending to Frances, right? But here's the thing, Frances is dedicated to the school and houses some resentment towards Eloise. So you got that?
Some drama.
Yeah. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Let's take it away.
I happened to notice a lovely young lady.
Oh.
She's absolutely gorgeous. Tall, brownish hair, lovely shape, fair-skinned.
Oh, you must be talking about Erica. She has just transferred into this school.
Well, she's absolutely perfect for the pageant. As I said, I have turned over every rock and shook down every bush in Ghana, it seems. Honestly, I was getting desperate. But alas, God provides.
All the time.
Now, she is a girl who can actually stand a chance against the likes of beauty queens from Spain, Brazil, France, or Colombia.
Well, yes, she is lovely, but I think many of my girls would.
You know, it has become clear that the MGU judges are fond of girls who have a more universal and commercial look.
So you are saying what exactly?
That we're looking for girls that fall on the other end of the African skin spectrum.
Okay, now wait a minute, Eloise. How can you, of all people, co-sign with that?
Big money, big promotion, one step closer to owning the Miss Ghana pageant, something a woman has never done.
Oh, please. This isn't about women's equality. This is about you. And I'm not going to have my girls used as pawns for your nonsense.
Hey, this pageant is not nonsense. It is an amazing opportunity for a girl from our country to travel the world and represent Ghana. I feel insulted that you would doubt my efforts. The MGU platform is a highly respected one.
Platform? Oh, please.
Listen, Francis.
You haven't changed one bit since secondary school. If it doesn't benefit you, who cares?
That's right. And look at what that attitude has afforded me, darling. I am Miss Ghana 1966, and here you are still trying to keep up with the popular girls.
And here you are still trying to be one.
Well, I know I'm going to sign up to all that to see what happens next.
Same here. Did you see that stare at the end?
I saw that stare.
Because I felt offended for Eloise right there. Not going to lie.
Okay, I'm going to switch up on you totally.
Yeah.
Have you seen Color Purple?
Well, my mom has, and that's her favorite.
Oh, Lord. What about Lethal Weapon movies?
Yeah, a few times with my dad, yeah.
Oh, Lord, I'm dating myself.
Oh.
Okay, I know you saw Dreamgirls, right?
Of course.
Okay, so do you see a through line that I'm trying to put together?
I think I'm starting to see a theme here.
Okay, so this man, beside being in all those movies, he's been a tireless activist, volunteering his time in the fight for social justice.
You must be talking about the special message we received from Danny Glover.
Danny Glover!
Danny Glover, everybody!
Congratulations to the African American Theater Arts Troupe for 30 years of service. You have passed many milestones to reach this point. When you found the richness of our histories and culture was not reflected in your education, you carve your own space, giving the chance to showcase the power of our voice. When you experience environments that devalue your heritage, you constructed a home where students could feel welcomed and honored our ancestors before us. No was not an answer you would accept. You took every opportunity to bring in students and tell them yes, to show them more than what was presented to them, to give them spotlights, to garner agency, and to uplift one another. The work you are doing goes beyond this troupe and far beyond this school. If there was ever any doubt that the arts are needed, look at this year. In the midst of a crippling pandemic, hatred and upheaval, people have been drawn to the arts for inspiration, for education, and a way to deepen their understanding of the world they live in. Your role as students of theater is to use that platform to highlight the fullness of our people, to allow us the chance to see beyond what we can imagine, and to do this with authenticity to ourselves and a set mind and focused intentions. The space you inhabit is not separate from the rest of the world. Change is perpetual. The paths that have been paved before you require constant tending in order to keep the momentum. By virtue of the skin you're draped in and the legacy handed down to you from your ancestors, every action you take is going to hold political weight. Don't let that weight control you. You have agency over how that weight manifests itself in your life. Take control of the power you have been granted. I know what it is like to be at the crux of change. All of our institutions, Hollywood, the media, government, and universities have long histories of leaving out our people and our stories. It is so important, now more than ever, for all of us to push for radical inclusion. Our country's at a crossroad. Whether we finally achieve racial reckoning is up to us. History has shown that the vanguard of positive change is often young people. We need to continue to empower you to use your voice and your excellence in leading us toward the society and the world we deserve. We need to encourage you to use the trials of this moment to refine the skills you need to fight for truth throughout your life. AATAT, I am proud to see how far you have come and prouder still to see how much room you have created to grow in the future. Don't stop imagining and fighting for the growth of your organization and for our future. To all the current students, I see you and I appreciate you and I honor you for continue to uplift our community. To the alumni, continue to pave paths beyond what the students see feasible. And to the founder, Mr. Don Williams, I see your dedication to this troupe and your vision. Keep at it, man. To all of us, thank you for being here to celebrate AATAT. Let us keep tonight in our hearts and remember AATAT as an inspiring example of what we can achieve when we include everyone and we uplift others higher than ourselves.
Danny Glover.
I feel the same way.
Almost about to graduate and going into the real world. His words, what does that mean to you?
It gives me just a hope for the future, because when you graduate, you're kind of just like, what am I gonna do now? But just seeing like this work continue and knowing that I have like people surrounding me that will help me is just very encouraging.
Yeah. Okay, so changing. Now, I know that this next voice, because she was my musical director when I directed a production of In the Heights for Rainbow Theater at UCSC a couple of years ago.
Really? It's been that long?
Yeah, a couple of years now.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, and she was also with us in AATAT on our production of Crowns as well a few years ago, too.
Okay, so she's a AATAT alum, too. What's her name?
Let's hear it for Tammi Brown, y'all.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine, nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day, oh, my blue skies. Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? It's all right. I almost gave hate to see you give up now. You look better to smile.
There is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. So there's a new day. Where are blue skies? Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright. I almost gave up, but the power that can't explain fell from heaven like a shower down. I smile, even though it hurts. See, I smile. I know God is working, so I smile. Even though I've been here for a while. I smile. Hard to look up when you're down. Sure would hate to see you give up now. Don't give up now. You get so much better when you smile. So smile.
Great, great. Now, these things will sound familiar to some AATAT alumni. You gotta uplift one higher than yourself.
I don't care what they say about you. You all right with me.
You gotta put the pedal to the metal.
Hello, somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the time, and the time is looking at me, and it looks like it's time to bring out Mr. Williams.
All jokes aside, the man behind all these sayings is the man behind 30 years of dedication to the success and retention of students of all walks of life here at UC Santa Cruz. He is a man of faith, dedication. He's a role model, a father figure. He always brings a sense of high ethical principles and never breaks a sweat in front of us when faced with adversity. He is a leader who also knows how to follow, and thousands of students can say that they were blessed to meet, know, befriend, work with the man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Don Williams, take it away.
Whoa. Thank y'all. Y'all got me all nervous now. Whoa. But let me do something right. You know, I watched a movie the other night, and I won't say what it was, but the first thing I want to do is this. None of this could be possible, we all know, without God. But God has blessed me with a mate that keeps me inspired, that keeps me motivated. That when I want to throw the towel in, she's right there beside me. And I just want to say thank you, Nancy Williams, my lovely wife for 36 years, who's been there, who has raised 4 of my kids, and all of them are doing well. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do. I want to also take some time off to really thank some people right now, because it's important that I let them know it takes a many people in this world to make theater happen. And even this program right here, it takes a many people to make happen. But I want to thank a true friend of 30 years of me knowing her at SIO, who works so hard. I mean, I think I work hard. I'm trying to keep up with her. And then we have some tech folks that have been making magic happen all night. But this has been worked on for weeks, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, Griffin. I appreciate you, Amanda. I appreciate you, Francisco. Vision, purpose, dedication. I appreciate you, Scott, the man who put the magic touches behind these videos that you've been watching all night, and his company, Lensfire. Keep that in mind. If you want a great job to be done, call up Lensfire. Scott will do it. But we got other things that we are going to do in a moment here. And I know that there are some things that we want to show because I know that we have several different folks who've actually talked about the state, the city of Santa Cruz, who've definitely given us certificates of appreciation of what we have done. I want to be able to show those things and let you see them. I also want to be able to thank some more folks that we have that we are so thankful and grateful of their service to us. For example, AATAT every year goes to Seaside. And I can tell you right now, I am so thankful for our Seaside connection. Lawrence, Larry Walker. Lawrence Walker or Larry Walker. Either way, he will recognize you if you call him either way. Cosbia, the man who started our relationship over 26 years ago of us coming into the city of Seaside and doing our shows where many of my students felt embraced and loved like never before. So we want to give a big shout out to y'all. And I hope and pray that our partnership will stay for another 30 years because that's what it takes. We got to continue to uplift one another. Our voices, our Black voices are important. And for the world to realize we survive because of the good people in this world. And they come in every creed, every shade, and every color. So I'm thankful to all the folks who have been watching this program tonight. It makes a big difference to have you here witnessing of 30 years of service that we've been providing to this greater community. We thank you for your patronage and of you coming out, of viewing our shows. We thank you for your prayers and we thank you for a multitude of things. So, without further ado, I believe I'm going to have Cammie come back on, or we're going to have someone else come on. Whatever it may be, that is my moment, but you will see me again.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I am an alum board representative of the AATAT alumni board organization. And I'm class of 2019, and I'm here to thank the alumni board for all of their work and all of their dedication and all of their passion and inspiration in helping to lead the current board and helping with setting up the gala. I want to shout out to Antonio. I want to shout out to Blake, DT, Dr. Eric Jackson, Jessica, Joshua, and Nikita. The purpose of our board is to provide feedback and advice to the Culture Arts and Diversity Resource Center and help bring up more programs and continue the mission of what AATAT is doing. Thank you.
Of course, in an online environment is always being muted on accident. But thank you, Jasmine, for helping out with everything that you've done and for helping current and future AATAT students figuring out the landscape as you continue to move on in your career. So one thing I want to touch upon for AATAT is our scholarship. So as we mentioned before in the video, or as Mr. Williams mentioned in the video, that AATAT has raised up to $120,000 in scholarships that we give out to our AATAT students every year. And the thing about the scholarships that is not just to the actors and actresses on stage, it's also to people in marketing, also tech direction, lighting, video recording, just everyone who has been participating in AATAT. And these scholarships are very important for our students because college is rough. Student loans are pretty rough. And helping out our students, paying for loans, tuition, also for new technology, especially as we move into a digital landscape, is something that's very important and will continue to happen.
All right. So, folks, just to say this, we definitely would want you to make sure that you continue to do write checks if you can. You can always go to our website and give funds to that scholarship through that route as well. It does make a difference. I just wanted to make sure that we understand that it makes a huge difference for these students that are going to school here. So thank you for those who have. Thank you to those who will. We are blessed by your giving. So I know we're coming to a point now where we are turning the corner and we're ready to stop this train. But we're going to be going to this, what we call breakout rooms, I believe, pretty soon here. I want to make sure that we are able to understand what we have to do that, because I want to see who came out. And you probably want to see who came out. And all I know that I know there's some other folks that dressed it up for this gala tonight. And I might want to jump off into your room and see what's really going on and how you actually dressed up for tonight. But before we move forward, I'm going to ask a few more questions to Tammi. What else do we need to do?
Just like some general housekeeping since we're approaching the end. So one of the first things I want to touch upon is that if you enjoyed this program, remember to sign up for Schoolgirls or the African Mean Girls play that's coming up early in March, coming to all your screens digitally. Is going to be amazing. You can sign up on our website at catrc.org. And also tomorrow we have a workshop to learn more about Black theater as well. And since this is an AATAT celebration, we are going to celebrate like we should. So after this, there's going to be an opportunity to join us in what we call the reception room on Hopin. And to join the reception, all you have to do is click on the sessions tab on your left. And this will give you the option to join rooms until the rooms become full. And as you join, make sure to join the first available room as possible, because there's students in the rooms who are waiting to talk with you and waiting to meet with you and wanting to network as well. So we invite you to all see each other, talk with each other, dance with each other, and just celebrate, because let's just celebrate why Black theater matters. And it's been a joy celebrating with you all.
And one more thing. For all those folks who bought ads and purchased ads, I want to thank y'all for your tremendous support of AATAT. God bless you. And I'm pretty sure that we will actually share and roll that schedule of folks who purchased ads for this program tonight. And once again, I also want to be able to thank the Sameka family as a whole. And there's 14 staff members that I work with, and the dedication and the hard work that you've put in. I truly also want to thank our folks, our vision team, August, Tammi. I want to thank Odessa. I want to thank Benet. I want to thank Nayar. I want to thank my crew, my crew within the Cultural Arts University office. Yaslin. I want to thank you, Richard. I want to thank you for all those that I did not thank and did not call your name, who's been a part of this grand occasion of us doing this thing tonight. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for your dedication and your hard work. My MCs, a wonderful job you have done. Nikita, Tammi, y'all had me laughing. Y'all had me nervous. Y'all had me trying to keep up with y'all spirit. I love it. And I just want to, once again, thank all those folks who worked hard, tremendously hard to put this program together. I want to give a shout out even to our chancellor, who wrote me before this evening, this afternoon. I got a note from her of thanking AATAT and the Cultural Arts University family as a whole for the tremendous work that we've been doing. I recognize that. I'm full of thank yous because it takes a village to do what we do. And people on the East Coast to the West Coast, those folks throughout Texas, I thank you. I know it's been a hard time these last 2 or 3 days, but we got folks that's down there that's connected with this family who may not even been able to get on because of the power being out. But we thank you. Hopefully that you'll be able to see this at another time. So I think I got enough of my thank yous out now. I'm feeling much better.
Well, I want to say that I've been blessed to be here with you tonight and looking forward to the next 30 years and beyond. And congratulations to you, Don, and all your work. And congratulations to AATAT. And thanks for having me for the past 10, 20 some years coming back to UCSC.
Yes. Yes. Well, folks, I do know that we're going to be breaking out to this breakout rooms or sessions, if you will. And those of you that had to join us through YouTube, I know that you won't be able to go to the party rooms, but I want you to party like it's 1999. Come on, Prince. You know, put your music on. We're celebrating tonight, AATAT of 30 years. Do come out to see African Mean Girls, March 4th. You don't want to miss it. I'm so proud of the cast and the crew that is working on this show. They're dedicated. We got some surprises for you. So come to our website, cadrc.org. Come to that website. It will keep you on the right track. Catch that train. You want to get on.